So I'm here in the Scottish Parliament with MP Hannah Bardell, and we're talking about LGBT History Month and the exhibition that's right here behind us, Queer Champions. So Hannah, thank you very much for coming along today.
Pleasure.
Can you tell me what LGBT History Month means to you?
Absolutely. So for me, LGBT History Month is hugely important because as someone who didn't come out until just about 2 years ago, it was something I rejected. I rejected my identity. I avoided any engagement with LGBT history, culture. So for me, it's been really important, not just because it was the month in which I came out in 2016, but it's also something that makes me feel like I'm part of a community and anchored to that community, and that I can take part in those celebrations. And of course we can celebrate LGBT history and culture anytime, but I think having a month where we recognise those who've come before us and made it a lot easier for people like me to come out and come to terms with who they are is just hugely important.
Excellent. Now, this exhibition is called Queer Champions. I love the fact that the exhibition is full of different champions. So we have the gamut from gay to lesbian to trans. What's a queer champion to you?
Well, somebody like yourself, and of course there you are on the wall. You know, we've got Horst MacDonald, who's an incredible music and LGBT icon, my colleague Alan Smith, who's a member of the European Parliament. I guess for me a queer champion is somebody who is comfortable in who they are, who has blazed a trail and has been willing to stand up against prejudice and speak out for the queer community, and can provide that shining light, I suppose, for the next generation. And hopefully it is already easier for the next generation of young people to come out and be open about their sexuality and their identity and their gender. But I think this exhibition just stands to highlight how many amazing queer champions we have in Scotland, and how proud we should be. You know, in a year, well, last year in 2017 we had you know, the gay pardon, and you know, Nicola Sturgeon and the government really trying to move forward and right the wrongs of the past. And I think that that's really important, but it's also important that we recognise those who've come before us and on whose shoulders we stand.
Fabulous. And as you know, I run the WOW Network, Women Out Work, and we help specifically for lesbian, transgender and bisexual women to come out at work. Why do you think it's important that we have a network such as this?
I think it's hugely important because as somebody who worked before I entered politics, in the oil and gas industry, for example, it was a very male-dominated industry, and it was an industry where I had a member of my team who was openly gay, and she had a really tough time. And I didn't feel at that point in time that I could come out, and we know that many lesbian, bisexual and transgender women don't feel comfortable. So having that network where women can feel comfortable and come together is hugely important. So I commend the work that you do, and I think it's just really important that we get into as many industries and sectors as we possibly can.
That's great. Thank you so much for your time, Hannah. I appreciate it.
Pleasure.